Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, Public Health is holding high hopes a new bus will blitz COVID vaccination rates in regional and rural areas as Tasmania edges closer to the 90% target. It comes as new health advice recommends those with compromised immune systems receive a third dose for greater protection against the virus.
Just 40 minutes from Hobart in the small town of Huonville, many locals are jumping at the chance to roll up their sleeves.
Everyone's got to have the jab and if you want to travel, you've got to have it as well.
Everyone I know has actually had it, so yes.
But the same can't be said for other regional parts of the state, with Kentish recently claiming the uncoveted title of Tasmania's least vaccinated municipality, today receiving its first Pfizer clinic. Soon, parts of the North, West and Central Highlands will be targeted by a bus set to boost the uptake of jabs in small towns.
Not everybody has seen it as the highest priority. We want to encourage them to make that a high priority so that together as a state we can be safe and look forward to opening our borders again.
Meanwhile, 500,000 Australians will need to have a booster shot following ATAGI's latest advice.
The evidence is now clear that people in those categories of immune compromised should receive a third dose.
Meanwhile, fragments of the virus have been detected in wastewater at Hobart's Macquarie Point treatment plant, but Public Health says it's no reason to panic, with the results likely linked to the COVID-positive teenager quarantining here at Fountainside. 95 people have so far turned up for testing at the Newnham pop-up clinic, but until all results have returned negative, Public Health says we're not out of the woods yet. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Police say they're likely to press charges against a 13-year-old in relation to a fire at Launceston's Cotton On store. The youth is also facing a number of other related charges, including armed robbery, all allegedly occurring on the same day. Cotton On is still closed after Wednesday's fire and will be moving to a new location in the Brisbane Street Mall. Tasmania's forests are worth billions of dollars, according to the state's largest plantation forest manager. Foraco is hoping the release of its new report can guide the sector, but industry groups are split, while a battle is brewing over the risk logging poses to tourism.
Can you put a value on a forest's ecosystem? Foraco seems to think so, saying it's worth $3.39 billion.
We're able to quantify what are our impacts on nature, what's the value we derive from nature.
The plantation manager releasing what it calls a landmark report into the net value of its forest ecosystem, hoping the value of biodiversity can help guide decision making.
I think it changes the conversation because you're not then comparing tonnes to dollars, you're actually comparing dollars to dollars.
We can demonstrate with quantifiable and auditable methodologies that we're actually positive for nature, that we're not detracting from nature.
Stakeholders on hand for the report's release, but with vastly different readings of what it means for the future of forestry.
Protected, high conservation value native forests and a thriving plantation-based forestry industry that takes nature seriously.
The industry saying there's still a place for logging native forests.
Tasmania's leading the way from a mixed forestry point of view, so we can have both in terms of plantations and natural forests.
Tasmania's forest wars ramping up again. This week, UTAS research found older, wetter forests protect against bushfires, while 160 outdoor brands and tourism operators have signed an open letter to the Premier to protect the Derby mountain bike trails.
These business operators understand that ongoing native forest logging impacts their businesses, but more importantly, undermines our brand of clean, green and clever.
The state government say both industries are being managed to coexist.
They're actually implementing really sensible plans like having buffers between the mountain bike trails and legitimate forestry operations. I think that's a great win-win.
But tourism operators say forestry zones are clearly visible from the tracks.
So the question has to be asked, why are we logging these forests which hold the most successful tourism brand in the northeast of Tasmania?
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Millions of dollars are going towards the Hobart Aquatic Centre to help older locals and those needing physical rehabilitation. The empty space behind the facility is set to house a warm water hydrotherapy pool, consultation rooms, accessible change areas and a new entry for easy car park access. A federal grant of $3.4 million funding nearly half the project, the remainder from the state government and Hobart City Council.
It is very much focused on improving health and well-being, improving the rehabilitation outcomes for a lot of people as well. So it is a specialist facility, but one that's really, really needed.
It's a wonderful development for this pool, which has now become the very real centre for all things aquatic and swimming in southern Tasmania.
Meanwhile, the Clarence Mountain Bike Park will receive new beginner trails through round 5 of the Building Better Regions Fund. The NBL pre-season has officially begun, but the entire Tasmania Jack Jumpers team swapped training for a different activity, rolling up their sleeves to pack apples today instead.
Off the court and in the shed. Switching basketballs for apples, having a crack at packing an icon of Tasmania.
Put us to work a little bit, packing some bags of apples, checking if they were good or not, and then we did some testing as well, some testing of the ciders, and it's been an awesome day.
The team strengthening their core, working hard for sponsor Willie Smith's Apple Shed on their first pre-season day.
I think the team players will get a better understanding of Tasmania and the community and the people that are potentially and hopefully going to be their army when they start the season.
It's a dose of reality of what people are doing from 8 to 5 that are really working for a job, and the luxury we have of playing a game, a sport for 8, 10, 9 years of our lives, what really hard work is and what it means to be a Tasmanian.
The whole team now together with the last players out of quarantine.
Last week when I stood in front of them, it was emotional for me because 5-6 months ago it was just a whiteboard that was blank. And at the end of the day, 15 are standing in front of you.
The team setting off north to Ulverston on Monday for their first proper training practice, ahead of the season starting next month.
I think just getting a bit of continuity. We're a new team. A lot of guys haven't played together before, so trying to get everyone on the same page as quickly as possible is our main focus.
It'll be good. We've got the whole 15 squad here, so we're still building relationships, getting to know each other on a better level, but we're itching to get practicing, get up north, show some people what we've got and get it all started.
Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
Older Tasmanians can catch the bus for free next week. Metro will not charge those holding a seniors card with a green card from Monday through to Sunday. New buses providing a more comfortable ride for those with mobility issues.
We've got the ability with our new fleet of buses where they can, what we call kneel, so they dip down at the front on the entrance. So passengers that perhaps have trouble getting up higher stairs or are mobility challenged, it's a much lower area for them to just be able to go on as if it's nice and flat.
The offer coincides with Seniors Week. The Launceston Library has entered a new chapter, today marking 50 years in its current building, with a special plaque being unveiled to celebrate its history. New items are constantly being added to the collection, with more and more being digitised.
In 1971, of course, things were largely printed. In 2021, of course, we still have books and we still have printed material, but of course we update on our digital resources.
The library started as the Launceston Mechanics Institute until it was demolished in 1971. The current site was redeveloped 5 years ago.
New Zealander Rachel Priest has replaced Corinne Hall as captain of the Hobart Hurricanes in the Women's Big Bash. The 36-year-old is playing her second season in purple and is willing to lean on the rest of the senior group.
I love playing cricket because it's a team game and I love working with the other players in the team, so I'm really looking forward to that side of it.
She doesn't get phased. That's the key thing that I really like about her, and so that I think that she's going to bring some great calmness to the dressing room.
Ola Taylor-Velimic made her return to international cricket following an injury.
We've obviously got a lot of young talent as well that's come through. Amy Smith bowled really well last year, so I think we'll be quite competitive. I know everyone probably says that, but yeah, I'm backing us in for a good season.
Hurricanes recruit Richa Ghosh hit 17 not out for India in last night's T20. Ricky Ponting is talking up the men's side ahead of this season. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the former Test captain is a big fan.
I actually do think that the Hurricanes have put together a team as strong as anyone's, and we know they've been a competitive outfit anyway the last few seasons, and they're one of the teams in the tournament that haven't won the comp so far. So I think they'll be pretty hungry down there in Hobart this season, I'm sure.
James Faulkner is a Tiger again, a Bangla Tiger. He's signed with the Bangladeshi team, playing in the 10-over Abu Dhabi T10 League. Tasmania has declared at 6 for 500 in the Sheffield Shield match against Queensland in Adelaide. Jordan Silk scored an unbeaten century as the Tigers built their imposing total. In reply, Lawrence Neil-Smith claimed the coveted wicket of Marnus Labuschagne on 32. At stumps, Queensland is 2 for 122. And it's now 25 years since the Tasmanian Devils basketball team played its final NBL game. A sellout crowd was in tears as the team ran out for its farewell after desperate efforts to save the franchise failed. Head coach Bill Tomlinson's landline was running hot when news of the Devils' demise became public. A last-ditch bid to save the franchise had been rejected as the league sought to wipe out cash-strapped clubs.
This has got to do with TV and people being, the Perths and these teams getting the Super League up, and Hobart, you're not included in it because whatever they've got against Tasmania, that's the way it goes.
Far from going out with a whimper, a sellout crowd poured into the deck for the Friday night clash. A scramble for branded stock had merchandise flying off the racks, the fire sale providing one last bonus to the team's coffers. Pre-game, the sentiment was strong.
This place is going to be filled with a lot of teary-eyed kids tonight.
Running out for their warm-up, the Devils received a standing ovation. The club's longest-serving players given the honour of starting the game.
Regardless, fans still felt shafted by the club's collapse. Of course, none of this was helping the team's performances during the season, and the swan song against the South East Melbourne Magic was no exception. The Devils led at the first break, but Tony the Bear Ronaldson hit 21 points for the visitors as they easily claimed a 22-point win. David Stiff was the best for the Devils, but in the wash-up, the result was irrelevant. It was time to say goodbye. The overwhelmed and heartbroken team had hoped to rejoin the league after a season on the sidelines, but this was unsuccessful.
We've got the fans, we've got the sponsors, and we've got the passion for 1998.
With the Jack Jumpers debut now only weeks away, the NBL has come full circle. When the Devils folded, the league maintained it was always committed to a Tasmanian team so long as it was profitable.
And until that happens, and until the people of Hobart are right behind the team, and until the government of Hobart stops saying that they want to have a team and put some money up to support that team, it's not going to work in Hobart.
25 years on, a new generation is ready to play.
Good evening. Bushy Park and Hobart topped the list today with 21 degrees, 4 above average for Hobart. Launceston and Devonport 16, Burnie 15. A cool night though, -2 the low on Mount Wellington. Grove 19 degrees today, St Helens 18, Lowhead, Smithton and Flinders Island 16, King Island and Strawn 15 degrees. A few showers too today over the west and north as this cloud sat over those areas. Some scattered cloud also found its way over the southeast. Patchy high cloud over Victoria, while mid to low cloud was spotted over the east of New South Wales, southeast Queensland and southwest WA. Tomorrow a cold front passes over Tasmania and Victoria, followed by a trough. A ridge of high pressure pushes over Western Australia. Winds northwesterly at 25 to 30 knots and to 35 knots over southern waters, west northwesterly winds over northern waters. A gale warning for waters between South East Cape and Low Rocky Point, a strong wind warning from St Helens Point to South East Cape and also from Low Rocky Point to Sandy Cape and the Central Plateau Lakes. Here's the forecast for tomorrow. Possible morning shower for Hobart, 18 the top, 15 the high for Medina, showery for Oatlands, 15 the maximum. Launceston for Saturday, a shower or two, 18, 16 for Devonport, Lyowini showers, 2 overnight, 11 the high. 16 for Burnie with a shower or two, Strawn 15, 15 for Marrawar, showers easing later. St Helens sunny and 19, afternoon shower for Swansea, 19 as well, 18 the top for Orford. The UV worm peaks at a moderate 5 tomorrow. On Sunday, showers more likely over the west and south, possible hail and snow to 600 metres. Partly cloudy on Monday, just 13 in Hobart, areas of morning frost and a shower for the west. And on Tuesday, another cold start to a fine, partly cloudy day. Partly cloudy in Perth tomorrow, an afternoon shower in Adelaide, a sunny start ahead of late showers in Melbourne, sunny and 26 in Sydney and warm in Brisbane. Currently cloudy, 16 degrees in Hobart, mostly cloudy in Launceston, 13 currently and 13 also in Devonport. Well, I've been back all week, Kim. I feel like I need another break.
Oh, and I think you're having next week off, aren't you? Unbelievable. We'll carry it, it's okay. Well, finally tonight, we often like to leave you with a feel-good story, and tonight it's for a good cause. The Big E Animal Sanctuary is gearing up for a big day, holding a second-hand book sale in Launceston. The Longford-based charity is home to nearly 500 animals. Money raised from tomorrow's event at Pilgrim Hall will go towards building them a new hospital. And that is all your news for now. Good night.